It's a challenging thing because the AI growing so fast, none of the universities can catch up. There is a new product, new language, new direction until you printing the books, making the curriculums on everything. It takes years because when you're going into the direction of artificial intelligence, if you don't have a strong math base, you're just going to be just a user basically. What the Armenian university is good at, have like special courses that quickly adapting to the new changes and giving that kind of knowledge and understanding the what's the machine learning, what's the AI. But what we want to do, we want to show that we can deliver the startups. The markets have a huger opportunities. That's why a lot of Russian startups, when they moved to Armenia, they were surprised at how our visions of the product and the solutions are worldwide, not local. This is what our ultimate goal in Armenian IT, to show that couple guys in their garage, they can build a cool startup that can raise millions of venture investment money.
Hi, I'm Craig Smith, and this is Eye on AI. Recently, I visited Armenia, an incredible country with a very active tech sector. In this episode, I talked to Rem Darbinyan, a serial entrepreneur, angel investor, seasoned advisor, author, and keynote speaker with an investment portfolio of over 40 startups. He's the founder and CEO of SmartClick, which builds deep tech innovations based on artificial intelligence and machine learning. He's also the founder and CEO of Viral Mango, a platform that connects influencers with brands. We talked about the tech sector and AI development in Armenia, as well as Viral Mango. I hope you find the conversation as interesting as I did. Okay, so Rem, tell me who you are, and then we'll start talking.
Okay. Rem Darbinyan, born in Armenia, Yerevan, in this city, a couple blocks from here where we are recording right now. And beginning at 90s, when the Soviet Union collapsed, it was a hard time to live in Armenia. My family moved to Russia.
Oh.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I moved to there, graduated middle school, high school, university.
Wow.
Yeah, I started working, and in 2008 moved to US. Yes, and started working for basically started from beginning, from the zero, because you changing the country without anything, and went into the different kind of jobs, and eventually start doing some kind of entrepreneurship, some kind of businesses. Made everything from the scratch, basically. But my ultimate goal was move back to Armenia.
Yeah.
Because my heart was always with Armenia. And then a couple of years ago, after the COVID, I decided that I want to move back to Armenia. I took the family, took the kids, and moved back to Armenia and started my company in Armenia.
Yeah.
My startup, I started from Armenia.
And
it's like a short story.
Yeah, that's the current startup that you're working on.
We started another one recently, another a direction, yes. But the one I'm talking about that we started 5 years ago, when I decided to move to Armenia, started the company and then moved to Armenia.
Yeah, and what I wanted to talk to you about is not only the startup and the startup ecosystem in Armenia, which is why I'm here, but about the introduction of machine learning and how machine learning AI has grown. And when we were talking the other day, you said you had an ambition to build a machine learning ecosystem.
Yeah, I'm a tech guy. I first introduced to the PC was in 1993 or something, 30 years ago. I fell in love with the computers and learn everything by myself. Just back in days, there is no much internet, nor there is no much information. So I love discovering new things.
Hi, I wanted to jump in and give a shout out to our sponsor, Nesuite by Oracle. I'm a journalist, and getting a single source of truth is nearly impossible. If you're a business owner, having a single source of truth is critical to running your operations. If this is you, you should know these three numbers: 36,000, 25, 1. 36,000 because that's the number of businesses that have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25 because NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close their books in days, not weeks, and drive down costs. 1, because your business is one of a kind. So you get a customized solution for all of your KPIs in one efficient system with one source of truth. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need, all in one place. As I said, I'm not the most organized person in the world, and there's real power to having all of the information in one place to make better decisions. This is an unprecedented offer by NetSuite to make that possible. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance, absolutely free, at netsuite.com/EyeOnAI. That's EyeOnAI, EYEONAI, all run together. Go to netsuite.com/EyeOnAI to get your own KPI checklist. Again, that's netsuite.com/EyeOnAI, EYEONAI. They support us, so let's support them.
Mm-hmm. And like probably 8-9 years ago, I discovered, there's a cool thing called artificial intelligence that can help them automate some kind of things. I start gathering information because there is no much information about AI back in days. It was the tool for the big corporation, not for the even mid-level companies. Like something here, something there, like kind of reading some kind of old school books, which is just more theoretical than the practical. And at some point I came to the conclusion, this is something I want to learn. This is something I want to do. This is something that we gonna do in the future. This is something big. And I came to the some kind of a list of the top countries that have artificial intelligence, and being Armenian, you always look your country in the list, and of course the top 5 countries: the US, China, Israel, Canada, these kind of countries, and there is no Armenia. And I got disappointed at some point. I'm where is Armenia? And I decided that if I'm gonna do this, if I'm gonna start a company that doing artificial intelligence, I'm gonna do it in Armenia. That have roots from Armenia. I came to Armenia. I start looking who knows what's the AI in Armenia. And 5-6 years ago, there's only a handful of people knows what's the AI. And then we start gathering together, learning things, start teaching a new generation of the kids that this is something cool. This is the next level. It was even before all this ChatGPT madness, all this becoming mainstream. It was a hard code. You writing
this
everything.
This is what year?
2018, 2019, And I established the company. We started doing AI, and my main ambition and goal was to show that we can deliver this to the world. It's a technology we can build in Armenia and show the world that it's made in Armenia, and somehow replace the understanding of AI that is not the artificial intelligence, it can be the Armenian intelligence. Yes, and since then we growth. We have a lot of data scientists in Armenia. We have a lot of AI startups started in Armenia last several years. So, and I'm proud to see that Armenia right now in 54th place in global ranking of the AI index across all other countries.
Well, that's quite a feat. I mean, AI is moving fast,
Of
but
course, yes.
Armenia is moving fast too. A lot of I'm going to do a few episodes here, and so I'll talk about this history elsewhere. But you moved to Russia, and Armenia. A lot of people don't realize was kind of one of the tech centers for the Soviet Union. So there is a tradition of mathematics and technology, engineering in Armenia. Uh, of course, that generation is older, and that was long before AI. But has that given Armenia kind of a base on which to build?
Of course, of course. If we take a back when Armenia was part of the USSR, Soviet Union, all our great mathematicians or our like a scientist was part of the USSR, and then
Right.
we don't like specifically can say that this person was responsible to inventing this kind of thing, because we have, for example, the Armenian person who invented one of the nuclear bombs for the Russia for the USSR back in days.
Yeah.
But nobody's saying about that. He was like
Yeah.
it was very secret. But I think the main how it started, if we go back to the 1950s, after the World War II, the US started moving towards developing some kind of computers, the first version of the computers. And the USSR, they were thinking that it's just a distraction from the moon program for going to the space because of the Cold War. And they didn't like start going to that direction. Although they have spies, they have like all that information that US developing the computers, they missed that starting point. And then several years later, they're like, oh, we're missing something. They're really developing the computer that's going to help to automate the process of going to the space, doing all that calculations. And they start thinking, okay, how we can catch up. They collected all the smart people at that point they have. And then one of the smartest person at that time was the Sergei Mergelyan. He was one of the brightest Armenian minds in mathematics. He got his PhD when he was, I think, 20 years old. He was like a very like a bright mind.
Right.
And they said like, okay, we want to develop the IT basically. So it's not IT, but like a tech centers in different parts of the USSR. And they developed 4 centers: Moscow, Kiev, St. Petersburg, and in Yerevan. The fourth one in Yerevan. So like it was 4 development centers, and this Sergei Mergelyan became one of the founders of the Armenian IT infrastructure. And one of the first USSR computers was built in Yerevan, Armenia. If you're going back to the historical, and it's become like the foundation of having like mathematics school of Armenia. And right now, that place, the place when the first the USSR computer was built, now a lot of IT companies renting offices. Our office located them. It's becoming like an IT hub. Yes, and then it's still continuing that tradition that a lot of technologies are building in that place and continuing to growth over the world, basically.
Yeah. And among the universities, I mean, what I've been told is the startup culture or the private sector is much stronger in AI than the universities. But is that right? Or which universities have the strongest machine learning programs, and is there a community of young machine learning engineers that's growing that's going to be able to propel this further?
Actually it's a challenging thing because the AI growing so fast.
Yeah.
None of the universities can catch up with the
Right.
technology changing.
Right.
Because there is a new product, new language, new direction, machine learning, deep learning, something, until it's becoming like a popular, until you printing the books, making the curriculums on everything.
Right.
It takes years.
Yeah.
and this changing very fast. And then what the universities in Armenia doing good, they're giving a good foundation of mathematics, which is like a core thing for the AI. Because when you're going into the direction of artificial intelligence, if you don't have a strong math base, you're just going to be just a user, basically using other algorithms, technologies, something. What the Armenian university is good at, they're giving the good foundation of math. So we have that, and then of course probably all of the universities right now, they have like special courses that quickly adapting to the new changes and giving that kind of knowledge and understanding what's the machine learning, what's the AI. I believe all of the universities right now have some kind of a small part of their that teaching the AI as the base, so you have at least the general understanding what's the AI, how it works, where to look, what's the direction it's going,
Yeah. And so the first startup, you said you wanted to start an AI company. I mean, that sounds extremely ambitious. What were you doing? What was the product or service?
So we're developing the computer vision technologies. We came to the conclusion that we don't want to build a product, we want to build the technologies as part of our like a mission and vision, what we want to do. So we start building computer vision technologies and offering other companies from overseas to use this kind of technologies. And we're always saying like this technology is built in Armenia. What we want to see that other companies located in other countries using our technologies to get bigger, get into the success, and we can probably say that in the foundation of these companies was our technology that helped them to achieve that, basically.
Yeah. And when you say computer vision, what kind of computer
different
vision
kind
system?
of, we have like at the moment we have several dozen different kind of technologies, build it from the scratch, everything we made it in-house, basically, helping companies starting from detecting like license plate numbers, logo detection, different kind of small but very useful technologies that dozens of companies using overseas and getting into their target goals, basically.
Yeah. Another thing that I've heard, Armenia was very much an outsource industry. I mean, you were like an OEM provider for companies overseas. They would come here to hire people to build their products. And then with the outbreak of the war in Ukraine, a lot of companies relocated to Russia. I think
From Russia.
From Russia, I'm sorry, relocated from Russia. And that influx of capital drove the Armenian currency very high and made the outsource services uncompetitive. They were now too expensive. That's what I've heard. And so a lot of people switched to building products as opposed to operating as outsourced.
Actually, it's switching to building the products started like much earlier than the war in Ukraine. Probably, I'll say 8 to 9 years ago. A lot of yes, we used to be like we're doing a lot of outsourcing. We're developing the technologies, we're developing the products that getting success into the market, but we are under the radar. We don't see, nobody sees our success.
Right. Yeah.
And then at some point we see that, okay, we can develop these cool kind of products. Why we don't start building this kind of startups in Armenia?
Yeah.
And probably from, I'll say 2014, 15, the first Armenian, like a big startup start popping up. Earlier that, the Pixart, one of the biggest made in Armenia, basically startup, already unicorn, established in Armenia. And since then, a lot of startups, like a lot of companies start moving from outsource to the product prior to even before the war.
Right.
There were still a lot of like outsourced companies because it brings money, but the last six years there's like a lot of Armenian startups start appearing in the market because it is more profitable, it is more interesting when you're building your own product other than just developing without understanding some kind of small part of it. Of course, when the war started, a lot of people from Ukraine, from Russia, from other countries moved to Armenia because we are very tech friendly and overall friendly, but we have like a huge IT community at that point.
Yeah.
And when the startups and the companies start moving to Armenia, they see that we have this capacity, we have this knowledge, we can help them, we have the infrastructure, we have everything. And they love it. And they start relocating their offices to Armenia. But to be honest, we are not ready to that. You know, we have some kind of a limitation capacity. That's why it's drove somehow like a currency value changed, and of course it's become less profitable to be at the outsourced company. But as a startup, it's okay to be there. You know, it's still, you're still struggling because as a startup you're earning money overseas in a US or currency or European euros, but you pay salaries in Armenia, which is a conversion affects you highly. But of course, still we are moving towards having the product country, not the outsourced country anymore. Right. I think the direction is set. We're already going to that direction, and we see like a lot of big startups appearing in the market last several years.
Yeah. On the outsource, there is still some outsource here.
Yes.
And so. I've spent much of my life in China, and China and India China less so because there's a concern about IP protection, but India certainly is a massive outsource market where people go to find engineers to build things. If companies, for companies wanting to do that in Armenia, how do you navigate that? I was surprised to learn that because in the United States I've heard of Poland, I've heard of India as markets to build things. But
again, we're a small country. Even if we want to, we can't be like very visible in the market, because if we become the visible and we get a lot of orders, we can't fulfill that. That's why a lot of outsourced companies, although they're earning money, they're delivering some kind of value to the US or other countries, startups or companies, we have some kind of a limitation on capacity, what we can deliver.
Yeah.
And at some point, it maybe even doesn't make sense to show that we can be outsourced country. Otherwise, we're going to be overwhelmed with the orders, and then we can fulfill, the quality going to go down. But what we want to do, we want to show that we can deliver the startups and the products. This is what our ultimate goal in Armenian IT, to show that a couple guys in their garage, they can build a cool startup that can raise millions of venture investments money and become the unicorn at some point.
Yeah.
It started in Armenia, but of course you need to go to the US or other big markets. This is another cool thing, because when you are like a Poland or Indian startup, when you're starting to building the startup, you always look at the internal market, your local market, to build the startups. Our local market is small. And that's why we almost always think about the bigger markets.
Yeah.
The markets have huger opportunities. That's why a lot of Russian startups, when they moved to Armenia, they're surprised that how our visions of the product and the solutions are worldwide, not local.
Right.
Because the Russian startups, they're always building a startup for the local market.
Yeah.
It's a huge market, Russia.
Yeah.
And they never think about how we can go to the US market or overseas market. They don't have the knowledge. We have that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And we have another like a cool thing, opportunity, something that we can call, since Armenia many years goes through the different challenges, problems, issues, a lot of Armenians left their home country to the different countries, and we consider ourselves as a network nation. We spread it all over the world. We have like generations of Armenians living overseas. They survived from the genocide in 1915. They went to the European countries, US, and then it's repeated several times. Recently, we see this kind of issue as well. And we have Armenians all over the world. And they live, they integrated on their different countries' lives, becoming popular, becoming like achieving some kind of positions. And since when you left your home, you always feel connected with your home. And anytime Armenian startup need to reach some kind of companies, there's always some kind of person in that big corporation that is Armenian that can help you to open the door.
Yeah.
This is some kind of like our secret sauce, basically, I would say, that help us to reach some kind of people, some kind of opportunity, gives our startup some kind of small opportunity to show ourselves, to just get in the front of the door, basically.
Yeah.
And then the rest, of course, it's the how you solving the problems, of course. But this is the thing that the Armenian community is trying to achieve, show that we can be the product company, not the outsourced country.
Yeah, and in terms of, I met you at Silicon Mountain, a conference here. Is that is the tech industry pushing that label, Silicon Mountains, or was that just the name of the conference?
Just the name of the conference, I think.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to show that we can have basically the similar thing in Armenia. We can become like some kind of ultimate hub of the startups in this region.
Right.
We have the knowledge, we have the capacity, we have the opportunity. That's why we want to become like some kind of the center of the region, to become the hub of the startup development.
Yeah, and then there are people or companies in the West are starting to acquire Armenian startups at Silicon Mountain, the conference. There was a CEO of Adobe who was here to officiate at the opening of a building because they had bought a company here. What do you know the name of the company?
Workfront. The company called Workfront, they acquired several years ago. We see several that kind of acquisitions like that. When you're becoming a bigger and then becoming visible in the international market, big corporations look into you. And then after they acquiring you, basically, they don't want to close it because just taking the clients or just the intellectual property. They see the opportunity to grow and continue developing this product in Armenia. That's why we see several other companies looking not only acquisition of the Armenian startups, but also opening their offices in Armenia and doing some kind of research and development part of their, some kind of a small part of the product in Armenia. Yeah. We see recently the NVIDIA opened the office in Armenia as well, and several other companies looking into the opening offices in Armenia.
Right. Yeah, and your one of the things on this idea of switching from outsourced to product, that requires you marketing a product from Armenia in the United States or in Europe or wherever, whichever market. I mean, I guess Russia is an easier market because it's closer. But how do you overcome that? And talk a little bit about the second startup that I saw. There was another conference, which is the primary reason I came, Digitech 2023, that featured a lot of Armenian startups, and yours was there. Can you tell us about that, and how do you reach the Western market? I mean, that to me sounds like a big hurdle.
So again, a lot of experience came from the doing outsourcing stuff the back in days. We have a lot of specialists that used to do the marketing for the US companies. So they work for the US companies doing the advertising and the social media marketing for the US. And we gather like a specialist in Armenia that have a lot of experience. But of course, we're looking for the new things, always keeping touch in what's changing in the market. And being in Armenia, it's again, we are very flexible. We are not a big corporation. We are implementing all the changes very quick, learning very fast. This is like one of the advantages. That's why if there's something need to be promoted in the US from Armenia, there's no borders. Now, if several years ago, you need to go to the in-person meetings after the COVID, it became like all obsolete.
Right.
Now you can do everything through the Zoom. And that's why it's not as hard as it seems if you put enough effort, enough time to learn the new thing that's appearing in the market. Regarding our second startup we're doing, this is marketing solution. A couple of years ago, I see like a huge opportunity that the markets moved from the regular advertising into the influencer marketing, and the influencers start taking some money from the big corporations like Google and the Facebook. If back in days, all the money from their social impacts on the influencers was earning by the Facebook or Google. Now the influencers are taking that money back from the big corporation. They start earning money doing that influencer marketing. And then we jump into this field and start helping the influencers and the brands connecting together, helping them from the brand sides to see which influencers is perfectly matching with them. And our knowledge of artificial intelligence help us a lot because there's a lot of data need to be analyzed.
Right.
A lot of data need to be match-made together. And on the other hand, we start helping the influencers to be more visible for the brands. So basically, if you are a good influencer, if you have a good influence, even if you are a small nano influencer, up to 5, 10,000, 15,000 followers, you still can earn a lot of money, but you need to be visible. So if you are a good quality creator, we help them to get in the front of the brands, connecting together, so they can start working and earning money without a middleman, basically.
Yeah, and the machine learning that's analyzing all this data. What kinds of, I imagine you're looking for patterns that match between the brand and the influencer. What kind of systems do you use for that?
It's a very complicated system, I'll be honest. It seems very easy from outside, but inside there's a lot of data going on because it's not just a brand and influencer. There are like hundreds of million influencers in the world, and then there's a lot of brands. It's all about like understanding what the brands needs. And the most important part, it's not finding the perfect influencer, also finding who is following this influencer. So we're analyzing basically each follower of this influencer to maximize the matchmaking with this brand's needs. For example, if it's the Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola looking for the influencer, it's not only just finding the perfect influencer, also finding the people who loves Coca-Cola that follows these influencers. So they need to be like a certain percentage of the followers, so that when the influencer tell them something, share his or her experience, they can uh, be some kind of attached to this content, that
Right.
they like it some kind of.
Yeah.
This is the hard part. There's a lot of data going on, this insane amount, and then we can do this probably. Now it's computing technologies are much faster.
Mhm.
4 or 5 years ago, I can't even imagine doing this kind of stuff because it will cost a lot of money. Now
Yeah.
it's much cheaper, basically.
Yeah. And you're getting the data from.
We're getting data from the users, from the social media. They're connecting their accounts to our system. We officially collect all their data, and then so this is like just gathering the data. It's not all about the data. It's just how you can process it.
Yeah. But how do you reach the influencers? Or is it through marketing and then they sign up to the platform? Or are you contacting influencers one by one?
We have different ways. We mainly like receiving the inbounding, so they're searching, they're finding our product, they're looking for this kind of solution. We're getting a lot of Google and inbounding traffic directly coming to our page and looking for this kind of solutions. And after they sign up, we're getting all their data after the consent, and then start working with this data. And the interesting part, they start using it, they loving it. They start sharing about the product that,
Sure,
this is a
they're
cool thing.
influencers,
And
yeah.
then and that brings more and more people. So it's like
Yeah.
some kind of a viral loop
Yeah.
working for us. So more people using, more people are coming, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
It's growing very fast right now.
What's the name of the platform?
Viral Mango.
Viral Mango. Yeah, I like
It's
that.
like we try to make some kind of like unique name that you can remember.
Yeah, yeah. And then on the brand side, I would imagine the brands are, a lot of people are trying to sell the brands on platforms like this. So how do you attract the brand?
We don't work on attracting brands because we just show what we have, what influencers we are working, and then it gives them confidence. Because for the brands, it's a big challenge as well to find the right influencer. So in this part of our program, we're trying to help more influencers. And when the brands looking for the influencers, they see who we are working with, and they're happy to find them through us, basically. It's more inbounding. We're helping the influencers, and then as soon as the brand sees that what we have, what the influencer we are working with, they are happy to join us to find them. And because they know that once they work with us, they'll see like a better quality influencers, better matchmaking, and etc.
Right. And your revenue, do you essentially take a cut of whatever revenue I mean, where is the revenue coming from, or is it a subscription model that you're selling to
Depending what
brands?
part of our product, we have subscription base for just finding. If they want to help us to then get connected, and then we're becoming some kind of a middleman of between them, we take some kind of commission as well, because there's a lot of fraud going on. A lot of influencers see that the brand's asking them to do some kind of task, and they don't get paid at the end.
Right.
Or the same way, the opposite way, brands pay upfront and then the influencer disappears. So we're becoming like some kind of middleman that we can collect the payment and then be the person who judges, who've done what part, and then either we return the money if the deal is not done yet, or they pay the influencer as soon as they complete all the tasks.
Right. With a lot of these platforms, I mean, I'm supposed to be talking about AI, but it's interesting. A lot of these platforms, once you make the connection, Upwork is an example. Once you make the connection, you kind of make a private deal and go off platform. So Upwork's no longer getting. Is that a problem?
No, because it's not like a brands wanna every day work with the same person. They need to fresh blood every
Right.
week, every month, basically. That's why it's a continuing thing. Brand need to test it and work with several hundreds influencers at once, and we help them to understand who's the best, who gives the best ROI on their like a dollar amount spent. After they find their perfect influencer, of course they go that this influencer might become the brand ambassador for these brands. Of
Right.
course they're or doing some kind of direct deal, but before that they do a lot of testing. They work together with the different influencers. Basically, if we take a like analogy with the LinkedIn, people were updating their LinkedIn once in like a 2-3 years when they're changing the job. With our solution, they need to keep updated every week, and they're doing collaborations every week, basically, because the same influencer might work with the different brands every week, or twice or 3 times a week, and the brands as well. So it's always ongoing work, basically.
Yeah. And to build the solution, how many engineers did you require, or do you need?
Actually, we started very lean. I'm a huge fan of the lean startup idea, how you need to like validate. So basically, we started with only one engineer, couple the customer success specialist. We validated each step of it before moving forward and before proceeding and developing even the first line of the code. So basically, we got the client even before we have even the part of our program. We have just the screenshots basically when we started. So yeah, it's another thing we are I'm trying to implement in Armenia, to go to lean, to basically fail fast, check it out everything and see if it works, and then start building, because we need like a quick turnaround. We need to take it to the market much quicker than just building the MVP, the showing to the market. It's a little bit, time changes basically.
Yeah.
Now you can do it in a different way, much efficient way.
Yeah. And I would imagine you're continuing to deepen the tech stack or build new features. So are you still just a couple of engineers, or are you?
We're still a couple of engineers. We're doing, by the way, I was discussing this with our CTO recently, and he started using one of the new AI technologies, and his efficiency went up to like a 30-40% using some kind of AI tool.
Which that Copilot or
yeah,
something?
Copilot, yes, of course, yes. That helps to write part of the code. So basically, we got advantage of using AI technologies, and instead of hiring, we pay like a very small fee, like $20-30 a month or something like that, and having a paid version of the Copilot that just increases our capacity of the development, basically. And this is one of the things I'm keep asking a lot of different conferences, when I'm doing the panel discussions. They keep asking, oh, what's going to happen with the job market with these AI tools? And what I'm saying, I'm continuing to say, it's not just AI gonna took over some kind of jobs. It's a lot of time, there's a lot of people who using the AI will take the job from the people who are not using AI yet. This is the interesting thing. Of course, there's going to be market disruption. A lot of jobs going to be obsolete in a couple of years. But this is part of the evolution we've seen many times through the Industrial Revolution, different kind of time of the development of the changes, the innovations. But right now, I see that people need to understand how the AI works, how the technologies works, and how they can leverage this. Because there's a very good saying that God made everyone equal, and then the Samuel court make them equal. It just When you're using this revolver, now you're equal to everyone else who have this kind of technology. Same with AI.
Yeah.
We are now technically equal to each other.
Yeah,
Basically.
that is remarkable, and how quickly it's spread. Um, I've got to ask, since we're just a couple of weeks away or off of the tension with Azerbaijan. I understand there's now uh, some diplomatic moves that are easing tensions, but is that hit the international news, uh, and a lot of people who in the West who aren't thinking about Armenia suddenly thought about Armenia, but as a place with a security issue. Is that Do you think that's going to have an impact at all on the development of the tech ecosystem here?
Of course, it's affecting the developing the ecosystem because we're all humans.
Hmm.
And we live in this country, and every day when you see that shooting happen, some kind of like genocide happen, what we see like last month, that more than 100,000 Armenians moved from their homes back to the part of the Armenia they are relocated forcibly. It's affecting our development process, our vision, our like instead of working on the product, delivering the products, you think about like your friends, family, neighbors, other Armenians that impacted through this. We can't just we're not robots. We're human beings, and of course it's affecting overall the ecosystem at first. Second, of course, it's a security thing. For example, if the developers, founders, or startups, uh, they feel safe living in Armenia and developing from here, some of them they might think, okay, it's not safe anymore. I might move from other and then do my job or develop startup from other country. This is another thing that impacting the overall the ecosystem. And the third part probably is that being Armenian startups, we receive venture investments or any other investments from overseas.
Hmm.
So of course, when it's not stable in the region, nobody wanna put money into that basket, and that's affecting as well. And overall, you always on the edge basically,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it can't be just invisible. It's affecting a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm up to an hour, and I don't know if the next guy. I've got 3 interviews
Oh,
lined up.
that's a lot. You can.
But is there anything that you want to say that we didn't cover?
I don't know. We covered a lot of. It's very. That's. I like it. I love it.
Yeah.
How it
Yeah.
goes. Like we covered a lot of things, and overall, um, we have a problem that the Armenia basically is invisible for other
Yeah.
countries.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Armenia in the news about war, in the them kind of like tensions, any kind of things. What my vision is to see Armenia in a good way. We develop some kind of cool technology. We solve that kind of huge problem for the world. That's why I want to see Armenia in the news. Like
Yeah.
to becoming number one in things in the news, not in a bad way, in a
Yeah.
good part
Sure.
of the
Yeah.
news section. But unfortunately, we don't see that much often.
Yeah.
But we need to continue work, and then I hope we're gonna succeed that soon, and then have the peace in the region, because we see the other problems recently with another neighbors.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, this is great. I wanted to jump in and give a shout out to our sponsor, NetSuite by Oracle. I'm a journalist, and getting a single source of truth is nearly impossible. If you're a business owner, having a single source of truth is critical to running your operations. If this is you, you should know these three numbers: 36,000, 25, 1. 36,000 because that's the number of businesses that have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25 because NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close their books in days, not weeks, and drive down costs. 1, because your business is one of a kind. So you get a customized solution for all of your KPIs in one efficient system with one source of truth. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need, all in one place. As I said, I'm not the most organized person in the world, and there's real power to having all of the information in one place to make better decisions. This is an unprecedented offer by NetSuite to make that possible. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance, absolutely free, at netsuite.com/EyeOnAI. That's EyeOnAI, EyeOnAI, all run together. Go to netsuite.com/EyeOnAI to get your own KPI checklist. Again, that's netsuite.com/EyeOnAI, EyeOnAI. They support us, so let's support them. That's it for this episode. I want to thank Rem for his time. If you want to read a transcript of the conversation today, you can find one on our website, EyeOnAI. That's EYE-ON.AI. In the meantime, remember, the singularity may not be near, but AI is changing your world. So pay attention.